5 days. That's all the time Vivien Leigh had before they fired her and gave Scarlett O'Hara to someone else. After 2 years of searching, after interviewing 1,400 actresses, after the most publicized casting call in Hollywood history, David O. Selznick had finally found his Scarlett. Vivien Leigh, a British actress virtually unknown in America. The announcement made headlines. Scarlett Found. But 5 days into filming, Selznick was having second thoughts. Vivien Leigh wasn't working. The crew knew it. Gable knew it. And worst of all, Selznick knew it. He was seriously considering firing her, replacing her, starting over. After 2 years of searching, he'd found the wrong woman, or so he thought. Here's what you have to understand about the search for Scarlett O'Hara. Gone with the Wind was the most anticipated film in Hollywood history. Margaret Mitchell's novel had sold millions. Everyone in America had read it. Everyone had an opinion about who should play Scarlett. David O. Selznick announced the film in 1936, and immediately the question became, who could possibly play Scarlett O'Hara? She had to be beautiful but not soft, southern but fierce, charming but manipulative, vulnerable but ruthless. For 2 years, Selznick searched. He screen-tested every major actress: Katharine Hepburn, Bette Davis, Joan Crawford, Paulette Goddard, hundreds of unknowns. Nobody was right. And then, in December 1938, Vivien Leigh walked onto the set where they were filming The Burning of Atlanta. Selznick looked at her face, illuminated by the flames, and he knew this was Scarlett. Vivien Leigh was 25 years old, British, classically trained. She'd seen Gone with the Wind being filmed and became obsessed. She wanted that role more than anything. When Selznick offered it to her, she was ecstatic, but there was a problem. Several problems. Vivien was British. Scarlett was Southern. The accent would be difficult. Vivien was delicate, refined. Scarlett was tough, scrappy. And Vivien had never carried a film this big. But Selznick believed in her. He'd found his Scarlett, except everything went wrong. Filming began in late January 1939. From the first day, it was a disaster. George Cukor was directing. He'd worked extensively with Vivien, preparing her, coaching her accent, building her confidence. But after 2 weeks, Selznick fired Cukor. Creative differences. Vivien lost her advocate, the one person who believed in her. Victor Fleming took over as director. And Victor Fleming had very different ideas. He thought Vivien was too theatrical, too British, too stiff. "You're not giving me Scarlett," he told her. "You're giving me some English actress pretending to be Southern." Vivien tried harder, worked longer hours, practiced her accent endlessly. It didn't help. And then there was Gable. Gable had fought against playing Rhett Butler. He'd been forced into the role by MGM. And now he was stuck with a British actress who, in his opinion, couldn't handle the part. He was cold to her, dismissive. He complained to Selznick privately. "She's not Scarlett," Gable said. "It's not working." The crew agreed. Whispers spread. "She's going to be replaced." Vivien heard the whispers, felt the doubt, saw it in everyone's eyes. She was drowning. 5 days into filming with Fleming, Selznick called a meeting. Vivien wasn't invited. It was Selznick, Fleming, and executives. The topic: replacing Vivien Leigh. "It's not working," Fleming said. "She's got the look, but she doesn't have the fire. Scarlett needs to burn. This girl is just acting." Selznick was torn. He'd invested everything in Vivien. 2 years of searching, the publicity. But if she couldn't deliver, the entire film was at risk. Who would we replace her with? Paulette Goddard is still available. Selznick would make a decision after seeing the next scene. The big one. The burning of Atlanta. If Vivien couldn't nail that, she was done. The burning of Atlanta scene was massive. 7 sound stages, hundreds of extras, controlled fires. Vivien stood in her costume, knowing this might be her last chance. She'd heard the rumors. This scene had to be perfect. Fleming called action. Vivien stood in the wagon, watching Atlanta burn around her. Refugees fleeing, soldiers dying, her world collapsing. And something happened. All the fear, all the pressure, all the whispers and doubt, she channeled it into Scarlett. She wasn't acting anymore. She was surviving, fighting, refusing to be defeated. Her eyes filled with tears, but not weak tears. Tears of rage, of determination. "I'll go home," she said, her voice shaking, "and I'll think of some way to get him back. After all, tomorrow is another day." Fleming called cut. The set was silent. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then the entire crew. Fleming walked over to Vivien, looked at her for a long moment. "That's Scarlett O'Hara," he said quietly. From that moment, everything changed. Vivien wasn't being replaced. She was Scarlett. The doubt disappeared. Gable warmed to her. She threw herself into the role with fierce determination. 16-hour days. Physical and emotional exhaustion. She gave everything. Gone with the Wind premiered in Atlanta on December 15, 1939. It was the biggest movie premiere in history. The governor declared a state holiday. 1 million people lined the streets. The film was a phenomenon, the highest-grossing movie ever made. And Vivien Leigh's performance as Scarlett O'Hara became one of the most iconic in cinema history. At the Academy Awards in February 1940, Vivien won Best Actress. She'd done it, proven everyone wrong, saved her career with a single scene. But the victory came at a cost. For the rest of her life, Vivien Leigh was Scarlett O'Hara. No matter what other roles she played, people saw Scarlett. "I'm not Scarlett," she'd say. "Scarlett is much stronger than I am." But nobody believed her, because they'd seen what she could do when everything was on the line. When you think of Gone with the Wind today, you can't imagine anyone else as Scarlett. But remember January 1939. Remember a British actress, 5 days into filming, on the verge of being fired. Remember that the most iconic performance in cinema history almost didn't happen. Behind the legend was 5 days of terror. Behind Scarlett was a woman fighting for her career. Behind the icon was someone who refused to be replaced. That is Vivien Leigh, not just the actress who played Scarlett O'Hara, but the woman who saved that role with sheer determination, who proved that sometimes you only get one chance, and sometimes one perfect moment is all you need. Her legacy isn't just a performance. It's a reminder that doubt doesn't define you, that when everything is on the line, you find out what you're really made of. Clark Gable wanted her fired. The crew thought she was wrong. David O. Selznick almost replaced her. But Vivien Leigh became Scarlett O'Hara anyway. And cinema was never the same.